IT infrastructure and technology outsourcing is the major stake in the global IT outsourcing business, spending around 170 billion US dollars on an annual basis. The reasons for further growth are new market trends like cloud computing. While the EMEA and APAC markets are still behind their outsourcing potential, for US enterprises it is quite common practice. Their main arguments are innovation, future business requirements, savings, and compliance. But many outsourcing initiatives fail because of underestimated complexity. One European company claims outsourcing can be done much better. It says many enterprises fail right at the beginning. VCA AG argues its software will make the outsourcing transparent as a source of truth and will improve the governance. Clients will become more independent and will finally be in the driving seat. Before we interview founder Zoran Jovanovic, we would like to understand the challenges which an enterprise needs to overcome. The typical global enterprise operates in different time zones. It is split into many business areas with many legal entities and thousands of sites and facilities all over the globe. Their complexity, their conditions and categories are unknown. Correct inventory and information about external services does not exist. It is also unknown how the infrastructure and technology dependencies are connected. Which of the thousands of employees is a consumer and which one does the maintenance? The decision-making process is complicated because of different cultures, languages, and many decision makers. Knowledge and information is dispersed or unavailable because of a missing central repository. These enterprises are always short of resources to support the outsourcing project. There is also a lack of financial transparency. The governance of up to billion-dollar outsourcing deals is imbalanced because of large volumes, the complexity and duration of transition and transformation. Managing the comings and goings of internal and external resources is very difficult. Of course, the enterprise continues its business, runs other global initiatives, and changes from time to time the scope of the project and contract. Mergers and acquisitions may even freeze the complete project for a while. The fact of not being able to manage and track claims will result into a bad relation between the contract parties. Later change requests mainly have their history of unfulfilled claims. Outsourcing contracts are favorite businesses for lawyer companies because of space for interpretations. Instead of hard facts and figures, contracts are written in such a complicated way that they require training sessions. Key performance indicators to track achievements of the project milestones and deliverables are packed in confusing wording. Potential risks don't get the appropriate awareness, although they are quite easy to be identified and defined. Enterprises have no application landscape. Because of different business areas, the core applications do not overlap by more than 50%. Summarizing all kinds of business-critical applications, 1,000 of them may be distributed across the enterprise. It is unknown which business areas are actively using them to perform daily tasks and who the stakeholder on an organizational level is. The fact that enterprises never did a real assessment means potential for consolidation because of application retirements. This is the chance that enterprises for decades did not use, but will be beneficial in the moment of outsourcing. Technology assets are unknown because of fast growth, mergers and acquisitions, or other commercial changes. Enterprises can't provide complete inventory data. IT departments follow the strategic business changes by providing requested application access and workplace services, which are highly prioritized. The administration and asset management get lower priority and very often are treated as undone homework. Initiatives to implement enterprise-wide asset management systems failed because of their limited flexibility, high costs, and efforts. Therefore, enterprises start their outsourcing project with inventory data stored within various sources. The quality and quantity of such sources is varying from partly usable to useless. But there is no other way than starting with only this available data, cleaning it up, and positioning it as a point of reference. Enrichment of this highly needed information has to be done continuously during the project by support of software. If an outsourcing agreement includes the acquisition of vendor contracts together with technology assets, enterprises struggle to show the link between contracts and assets. Contracts with global IT vendors are signed on an enterprise level, while amendments are often signed locally. Business areas have signed contracts in their private interest. Linking assets and contracts is elementary for auditors and generates potential for savings. Why pay a maintenance fee for things that aren't in use? Terminating or renegotiating such agreements is the logical consequence. Independent of its role, each user has to be treated as a consumer and is therefore a stakeholder. Knowing details about their profession, employment, location, and duties is elementary for the design and rollout of the future workplace. Even when you exchange simple periphery like workplace computers or desk phones, downtime during working hours must be avoided. Another question is, who will do that? Who is in charge of maintenance and where know-how moves when people are transferred from an enterprise to a service provider? More than any other technology, telecommunication has influenced today's IT trends. Fast, wide-area network connections made cloud computing possible. With high bandwidth, data centers can now be centralized. But to use these borderless opportunities, the IT network architecture of the enterprises needs to be redesigned. Missing documentation about network design of facilities can become a showstopper. Enterprises have grown without a central network infrastructure management. For example, usage of double IP range networks or missing information about IP range is common. In this case, double IP addresses are guaranteed. Zoran, why do outsourcing projects fail in your opinion?
Let me clarify first what VCA treats as failure. We treat projects which did not achieve the projected time frame or consolidation of management points, ergo the commercial results, as failed. So it does not need to mean terminated agreements. Of course, there are reverse transactions too, but fact is that almost all projects are not within the projected time frame. We all know that in such case the T&T costs are exploding.
But why do these delays occur?
Because right after 3 to 6 months, both agreement parties get more transparency and find out that the project plan will not work. Everything that has been colored in pink became red due to technology complexity, legal issues, workers' councils, distances, involvement of third parties, and many more reasons. But both parties insist on the agreement, and then the discussion starts. For the client, for sure that means higher costs, and this of course has an effect on the planned cost savings.
Where can your solution help?
The aim of our solution is to build up a kind of factory for outsourcing, where everything happens in the project and runs the same way like on an assembly line.
Where does the knowledge to design a tool for outsourcing come from?
Of course, nobody can sit in a dark room and have a vision what an outsourcing project needs. Before we started to develop Outsourcing Governor, we experienced issues using existing software products to provide consulting services. The knowledge to build a tool are poor requirements from our projects. We had the need to manage and control them, to improve governance. So we started to build module by module.